Hi everyone, welcome to Reading Tips Tuesday. I'm really excited to be with you today. I really do enjoy these videos. I don't know if you can tell, but reading is a passion of mine and I do love sharing. Today, I wanted to talk about how to read on a budget. My finances for my entire life have been very limited. The majority of the books you see here were either I won or I got discounted or were given to me. There are very few that I paid full price. It's not because I don't think authors are worth it or that I don't wish I did, but I just didn't have the money. And I'm very grateful that when I have jobs, when I have extra, I love buying books full price. Actually, I love a lot of my homeschooled author shelf that I actually bought. At some point when I go through that shelf, I'll share some of those with you. But for now, today is all about how to find a good bargain. One of the best ways nowadays is to use your Kindle. I know that sometimes it's hard because there's nothing that replaces the feel of a paperback. And so a lot of people are not really sure about Kindles. I think they're a terrific investment. For me, it has helped me explore a lot of authors I never would have been able to because they often put the first book free in a series, either temporarily or over time. And so it's a great way of being able to explore without risk. And I would say that's probably the number one thing. And you don't even have to buy a Kindle product. You can download the app to your phone or to your computer. And that's really nice, especially you have it on your phone. Most of us have our phones with us all the time now, and so if you get caught somewhere, you have a book right there. You know, don't pull up your game, pull up a book and use that time constructively, which is advice I should take more often. Stop checking Facebook, sir, and actually look at your your books. But if you're in the market for some discounted books, I have a couple of tips for you. One, my absolute favorite place right now to get discounted books is thrift books. It is so easy to use. I just recently placed an order for 3 books that were like new, and I got the whole thing with free shipping and for $10 or just over. So it is one of my favorite places. It beats out Amazon a lot of times simply because the free shipping for any orders $10 or more. And there's a very large selection and a fairly good price. Now, one of the things it doesn't have is it doesn't have books like for a penny and then $4 shipping like you will find on Amazon sometimes. But it's a great deal for the books. I so highly recommend it, thriftbooks.com. Another place I really like to go is Half Price Books. They have so many books. At some point I'll show you, I collect a lot of vintage books. They're not prominently displayed right now because of my limited space, and I keep usually the ones out. I don't know if you noticed there's some holes like right now, because probably you wouldn't notice, but there are some holes right now in my collection because I lend stuff out frequently, and so I want the books that I'm going to lend out, and I really don't lend out my vintage books to many people because those are precious. So I get a lot of those from Half Price Books, but they have a bargain section, and I'll go and look almost every time I'm there, see what's in clearance because they'll have dollar books. And I found a lot of books that, I wanted to try that author and it's worth $1. Or, wow, they have that book. So then the other thing is just to wait. Patience is a huge part of finding good deals. Some of it is waiting till they come in at a bargain price. Some of it is waiting till price comes down. It's always a little bit higher towards the beginning of it and then prices start coming down. And that's the hardest thing. There are books you want now and you want it just yesterday, but if you wait, oftentimes the price will come down a little bit and you can get a good deal. Also, some of it is also knowing the value of books. There are some that are worth paying money for. And also, I would like just to do a little plug here, is make sure you're getting through legitimate sources. It's one thing I know for me, it's, our family has been financially strained many years of my life, and like I said, I've had to wait for books and had to find ways to creatively accumulate them because we haven't had a lot of money. But there's a lot of sites out there that will let you do free books. They've pirated just about any book you want is out there. Now, before you panic on me, there are a lot of legitimate sites like the Gutenberg Projects and that you can get that have books that have gone out of copyright. They no longer have royalties on them. Those sites are fine. But there are a lot of places that you can go out and get Sarah Sundin's books for free, ebooks. That's because they're pirated. Somebody took them. So make sure when you're getting books that you're getting them from legitimate sources, especially ebooks. It's easy to pirate them, and that's not right. But I think the other thing I highly recommend is thrift stores. You go in, and a lot of times the book sections are a mess, and there's a lot of junk. But usually that's where you'll find the best deals. If you will just patiently look there week after week, you'll be amazed some of the deals you will find. I'm trying to think of the best deals that I've found. I've just constantly find. I've found some vintage books people did not know what they had. That's the best one I got. I got a Grace Winston Hill that was a second edition. Hardcover. They had no idea what they had. And, oh no. The best deal was a first edition G.A. Henty that I got for $1 because it was falling apart and they had no idea what they had. So, I actually in all honesty, I told them, you realize that this is a first edition book, and they're like, nobody will buy it here, it's falling apart. I'll buy it. So, that was the best deal. But I have found a couple Grayson Tales that are fairly old that were worth more than they had, and quite a few modern books. I found a couple. I came into a thrift store one time and they had some books that had been out less than a month. It looked like somebody had bought all of Bethany House's release for 1 month and donated them, and so I grabbed them. Got a great deal. So that's kind of my bargain tips. So a lot of patience, a lot of knowing to work. I know there's not half-price books everywhere, but there's also a place that I'm aware of that's a little bit more up called Second and Charles, which I've heard is a lot like half-price books. So find out and comment below and tell me your tips for finding great bargains.